PJNet Live, sending warm greetings to our friend Shosha, all the way from Israel across the world. Our studio is up, our Israeli sunrise background is installed, monitors 1 and 2 standing by and ready. All cameras are on, they are aimed and they are in focus. That means we're ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good evening. Welcome to an impromptu version of PJNet Live. Sometimes I'm up late at night. It is well after midnight here on the east coast of the United States. But in the nation of Israel, our good friend on the other side of the world, our good friend as a country, we also have a good friend, Shosh, who gets up early. And I see her on Twitter, and I always manage to hit her up. So what I got to do here is I've got to make a place to put her. So I will get ready to do that now, and we will just kind of pull, let me find the pull string, pull the monitors down, and we will get ready to hear from Shosha, all the way from Israel on this Memorial Day, right here on PJNet. Let's invite Shosha in, and Shosha, you're up early. It is 7 something in the morning where you're at, and you are already starting a brand new day in Israel. Here in the United States, it is Memorial Day, and I don't know if the people in your country understand that, but we want to reach out across the ocean and on a Memorial Day here in the United States and just wish goodwill and friendship to all of our allies and friends in the great nation of Israel where you are right now.
Good morning or good evening to you, everybody. And yes, we do in Israel know and really cherish it with our hearts, the Memorial Day, because as you know, the United States, the United States Army actually saved the world at World War II. Without the United States, the Nazis would have taken all over. They would have conquered the world. So we appreciate it, and I think everybody who has a right mind would appreciate it too. So many Americans so far away from their own country saved people in Europe and all over the world. So, we honor them. We actually salute all these people.
We do. Shosha, you posted on Twitter not long ago some outrage. An article you posted talks about the difference between disease and rot. Disease is curable, rot is not. Tell us about that article.
Well, what you see now, which is happening again, I don't know if to say it, it's the anti-Semitism is flourishing again. But what is worrying most of all, that it happens in the United States, a place you would never, ever think that such thing can flourish. And what you see now, it's like suddenly the Democratic Party, those people who are so much they say that they are about freedom of the speech, freedom of everything is okay, everything is, they think so much of themselves. And then right there in this Democratic Party, it became a warm nest, yes, for anti-Semitic people. It's suddenly, I don't know from where they popped up. And then also they're encouraging anti-Semitism. And this is unheard of. It doesn't go with the basics of the United States. And this bothers me very much.
Well, and it should, Shosha. And one of the reasons I wanted to stay up late, even though I probably shouldn't, and neither of us were very prepared for this, we just literally did this off the cuff. I want to send a very sincere message to you and the people of Israel that the vast majority of people in the United States don't feel that way. We are friends with Israel and will always be friends. However, it seems like the Democratic Party has found itself host to some, anti-Semitic representatives. Two of them come to mind. But here's some good news. One, I already told you, most of us don't feel that way, the vast,
I'm
vast
sure.
majority.
I'm sure of it.
But the outrage obviously came from the Republican Party, but I assure you there was a substantial outrage within the Democratic Party condemning some of the rhetoric and lies that are being propagated by those two representatives. So please let your countrymen know that the friendship between the United States and Israel cannot be broken.
Well, we are sure of this, I mean, people know that, but, the only thing is that sometimes, even when you have it starts in a very small way, sometimes you cannot even stop the spreading. It starts as real roots, small roots, and this is what I'm just afraid of, that later on it's just, just can burst. And this is the only thing that I have a fear, because this is how it happened in other places in the world. But I'm sure, because the United States is a different country, different people, they were brought up differently. And those two women, or this group, I mean, in the end, I think they will probably either will learn their lesson, or people will stop even, all people will ignore them at the end, because this is not an American way. This is not actually any way to spread lies and do things against other people. I mean, we should all live in this globe. I mean, and we live in peace. Why all these lies? Why do we need this all fighting all the time? Why not do something more, something good for the world, some for people, for other people, instead of just fighting between us all the time? And this is, I think we need to find a way to live in peace and do good things for other people, for other nations, for ourselves, first of all.
Yes. Well, there's another topic that we didn't talk about before we came on the air, but I did want to ask you. Recent events have found escalation of tensions between the Trump administration, thus the United States, and Iran. And I began doing some research on what might happen if actual hostilities broke out or war broke out between the United States and Iran. The Iranian Navy is very, very, very obsolete, and the United States could very easily blockade Iran from the sea. Our air superiority is very clear, and our ground troops would not have their tanks, their artillery. When you start looking at the military assets, okay, they are certainly in no position to take on the United States. But one of the problems that I saw is they possess some of the same Scud missiles that Iraq had. And when hostilities broke out, Iraq started lobbing Scud missiles toward Israel. Is this something, hoping to drag Israel into the war? Is this something being talked about in your country?
Yes, of course. We feel like we are hostages, We are the first, I mean, they use Israel as the first target to be hit. This is what we know.
Right,
because
and recent
it's kind
events.
of a punishment, this is what they do. It's kind of a punishment to the United States, because they think, as we are allies with the United States, okay, we'll hit them first,
Well,
this is what they do.
Iran probably doesn't have many friends, really, in the Arab world. But if they could drag Israel into the war, it is hope, I guess, their strategy would be that their other Arab countries would join on the side of Iran to kind of even the scale, even the score a little bit. And what also concerns me, the missile attacks of several weeks ago demonstrated that the Iron Dome isn't really working as advertised. It's not as effective. Many of those rockets that should have been intercepted weren't. Is this something that people in your country fear?
No, I have to listen. I'm not a military person, and I really don't understand much in armies and this. But there is one thing people must understand: the size of Israel is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what kind, there's no other country in the world that can really protect itself with so many missiles. I mean, there's no way. Even if you have an Iron Dome, if you have I don't know what, nobody can control so many because you have like 4,000 missiles or I don't know how many, huge amount of missiles that the Iranian gave to Hezbollah from Lebanon. All right, then you have from the south, from in Sinai, and you have from Iran. So you tell me what nation can really protect itself with a huge amount of missiles. Now, the Iron Dome does work, but again, the Israel land is so tiny that you cannot really, I mean, like protect completely.
Right.
And they
It
have
can be overwhelmed.
huge
Yeah.
amount, and they don't care about people. They don't care about the what happens later on. I mean, they're people. They have their crazy ideas, and that's it.
Yeah.
They want to
Those
wipe us
missiles
out.
are terribly inaccurate. They just lob them over. They don't really know where they're going to hit. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, and please spread the word from the United States and PJNet specifically, that we stand with Israel, and that the things that you're seeing in the news are not. It's sort of like when people come visit our country and come to a port like, say, Miami or New York. Well, those cities certainly are part of the United States, but the vast amount of the United States is nothing like Miami and New York. It would be like going to Tel Aviv and saying, "Oh, that's what Israel's like." Well,
Exactly.
you
You
know,
hit it directly. You hit it right on the spot. It's true. And we do believe, we know that America is the biggest ally of the Jewish nation of Israel. It's for sure. People know that. You should know that too.
yeah.
We
Well,
believe in it. We believe in you, and we are the best friends. Our countries, this is inseparable.
well, as you start your day, Shosh, we just wanted to send you a word of goodwill and of friendship and of just, our countries are, each of them are great in their own respect, but together we stand, and there is no light between us. Okay, none.
Thank you very
All
much. I
right.
just want to tell you something. We appreciate it very much, really appreciate, and we salute. I mean, really salute. It's a Memorial Day for you. It's going to start the Memorial Day. We know about how much you had to contribute. I mean, with lives for the entire world, and we will
And
never forget that.
and the only thing we ever asked in return was enough land to bury our dead.
That's it. That's
You got,
true.
you got it. Shasha, shalom, and we
So
thank you so much for joining
thank
us
you.
and sending your goodwill from Israel to the United States, and we send it back. Thank you so much for
Thank
giving.
you. Good night.
All right, good night.
Salute you.
Well, folks, it is always good to hear from our friend Shasha over in Israel, and I hope that your heart has been warm. Today is Memorial Day. It is not a day to celebrate anything. It is a day to solemnly remember those that have died in the line of duty, defending our great country, and I hope that you spend your Memorial Day doing exactly that. We're signing it off for PJ Net Live.